Hi, I'm Idalia, and this is my 14-year-old blind chihuahua, Cochinada, but her nickname is Coach. As you can see, we're getting ready for Christmas, and I hope you are too. So Coach and I are going to read you a Christmas story today. It is called Santa is Coming to New Mexico. It is written by Steve Smallman and illustrated by Robert Dunn and Jim Mitchell. So, here we go. Santa is coming to New Mexico. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from New Mexico been good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, tittering piles of letters that the children of New Mexico had sent him. Mostly, asked Santa, looking down over the top of his glasses. Yes, but they've all been specially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we'd better get their presents loaded up. Even though the sack of presents was really, really big and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it into Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack into one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did it. Splendid, boomed Santa. We are ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of our reindeers is missing. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him and called him, but just then, a young reindeer strolled up, munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. But the youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the little old elf calling. Oh well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa nav, tapped in the coordinates for New Mexico. This will guide us to New Mexico in no time. You could see here the reindeer. Crunch, crunch, crunch. He's eating his carrot. With the flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have these presents delivered to the land of enchantment. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south across the Arctic Ocean. On, they flew into the crisp, wintry air, crossing over Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying above the Rocky Mountains and on to New Mexico. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. So there they are, flying to New Mexico. They were just nearing Wheeler Peak in Carson National Forest, when suddenly they ran into a thick fog. Mist swirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see anything. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa nav in a bossy lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But ma'am, said Santa blustered, I can't see any stars in all this fog. Soon they were hopelessly lost. Then through the foggy blanket, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong! He looked over at the old reindeer with the red nose, but he had his head down. Red nose? I wonder who that could be. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. There was that sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa. But Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with the little box with the buttons on it. With the flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off toward the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. "Whoa!" cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. "What's going on?" Then, to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. "Well done, young reindeer," he shouted cheerfully. "It must be the Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi in Santa Fe. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming." Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the fog. "You have arrived," said the Santa Nav unhelpfully. Finally, when the fog had lifted, Santa discovered exactly where they were. Stuck. They were stuck. Right at the top of the giant Christmas tree in the Santa Fe Plaza. "Everybody pull!" The reindeer pulled with all their might until at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear off the tree. Santa steered safely past the Palace of the Governors, over the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum, above the river trail, and down into the Bicentennial Alto Park. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted out the presents into order again. "All right," said Santa, thanks to his young reindeer. "I know where we are now. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming." Santa drove above his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over New Mexico, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could, which was pretty fast for a chubby fellow. There were big chimneys in Las Cruces and small chimneys in Roswell. He squeezed down thin chimneys in Hobbs and plummeted down fat chimneys in Farmington. The youngest reindeer was amazed at how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like the children in New Mexico were going to be very lucky this year because they were good boys and girls. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit worried and quite hungry too. He piled them under the Christmas tree and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, Santa delved inside the sack for packages of every shape and size. In house after house, the good children of New Mexico had left out a large plate of cookies, a small glass of milk, and a big crunchy carrot. And I have my cookies and my milk right here. See, this is my milk. And these are my cookies. So I'm ready for Santa. And look, I have my stockings too, Coach and I. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots into his sack. From Clovis to Carlsbad, from Ruidoso to Rio Rancho, from Albuquerque to Alamogordo, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in New Mexico. Santa delivered presents to Andrew, Allison, Anna, Arabella, Archie, Ashley. The list went on and on. Zach, Zara, Zeb, Zoe, Zebel. Zebel? That must surely be a spelling mistake. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long New Mexico list. Great moons and stars, sighed Santa. It's past midnight and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. Well done, he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa nav to the North Pole, and soon they were speeding over the Carlsbad Caverns, above White Sands National Monument, past the Sandia Crest, and out above Chaco Culture National Historic Park, through the crisp, starry night. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Merry Christmas, New Mexico. The end. I hope you liked the book. I did. And I hope you are ready for Santa to come down the chimney at your home. Coach and I send you blessings and hugs. And kids, remember, be good to your parents and listen to them. Merry Christmas. Hugs.